my book before Inferno, when I tried to sell the book, people were like, because I write novels with the main character, Eileen Myles. And so when I was trying to publish the book before, people were like, well, who is Eileen Myles? Why would we want all this information around the life of somebody named Eileen Myles? Like, what did they do? And so I thought the way to go after that was, I thought, if I write a book about being a poet, then it explains itself. It's about the poet Eileen Myles. It tells a story of how they became a poet. So then it was really funny. Then, of course, writing the book was really fun because I felt like I was talking about everything I knew about how I became a poet. I was describing the kind of gong moment, like in college, when my professor read my poem out loud in front of class, and I was like, oh my God, and it was just like all the ways that being a poet resonated for me as a human being, and how that became, my jam. And I, because there was a link right away with Dante, the challenge was to make it to be heaven, hell, and purgatory, and heaven was easy. It was about writing poems and also about being a lesbian, and hell was easy. It was about coming up as a female poet in the 70s and 80s and being queer and all that, and pure experience. And purgatory was really a hard one to figure out, and then when I realized it was the endless asking for money that poets do, I realized it was a grant application, and that was really fun because it was the constant waiting, of the poet. So the composition was took 10 years, I think, because I never, I'm always writing a lot of poems in between and stuff. And then it was very hard to get it published, and so OR was just like a kind of new kind of publisher, and they got the book, and they were excited to work with me, and they had a different model for publishing at the time, which was not, not conventionally distributing a book, and it was all cool. So, and then I think the book immediately, I think just became, it's just like, I think I'm a slow bestseller. It's like I've never had the, big boom of, I guess I've had a big boom a few years ago when a book of mine came out again.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like, in general, it's sort of like my books, people read them. And so they sell and they keep I write slow and the books find their readers slowly, but I feel very good about them being in the hands of people who need them and want them.